Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Off the Dome podcast. It is season 3. It is episode 14. I knew that off the top of my head. I have a haircut now. I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys fuck with the fade, if you will. This is the All-Star breakdown, the All-Star recap. I wanted to wait this week until the All-Star game was over and the whole All-Star weekend was over before I came out with a podcast episode. There will be another one coming out with They Call Me Crafty. If you don't remember, if you didn't watch the last episode of the show, we each drafted our teams for the All-Star game. We drafted teams based on players who we thought were going to score the most points in the game. And at the end of the game, we combine each other's teams' points. So, for instance, I had Giannis, I had LeBron, I had a bunch of other guys. We combined Giannis, LeBron's, and a bunch of other guys' points. Those are the points I got, and you got the rest. All right, it's pretty simple. Again, we'll break it down on the next podcast episode. This episode, episode 14, is just going over my thoughts on not just the All-Star game, but the entire All-Star weekend, because All-Star Weekend's a great event in the NBA. It's kind of a turning point in the NBA. It's kind of the thing that tells us, all right, now we can really start with the NBA basketball. Everything we have just seen up to the All-Star break is just kind of it's the predecessor. You know, it's kind of, could you call it foreplay? I guess it is. It's foreplay for the rest of the season. It's what's to come. It's just kind of teasing us. It's just saying, all right, here's what we got. You know, this is nice. You've seen some good players, some new emerging stars. It's nice. But the season doesn't start until the All-Star game ends. That's what I say. The season starts after the All-Star game. That's when superstars are made. We saw the NBA 75, the NBA bring out their 75 greatest players of all time. We saw that happen in the All-Star game. Those players, each and every one of them, would not be there if they did not perform amazingly after the All-Star game. That's all that matters. What you do before the All-Star game does not matter in the slightest, in my opinion. Awards are won and lost. Championships are won and lost. Legacies are made and forgotten about after the All-Star game. And that's why I love the All-Star Weekend so much. It's a turning point. Not only is it fun, it's enjoyable. It should be in some cases. This year's dunk contest, you know, it's not enjoyable, but in most cases it's pretty fun. And we're going to start off with Friday night, the Rising Stars / Celebrity Game. There was a weird, game-winning shot contest that I didn't watch or follow or understand. I just knew that there was one shot where you had to hit the Ray Allen shot from the corner against my San Antonio Spurs, so I did not like the contest. It sucked ass. We'll be talking about that. I'll go over the All-Star Saturday. There's some good moments, some bad moments, some boring as shit moments, and then I'll go over the NBA All-Star Game that made up for all the boring as shit moments from All-Star Saturday, and what I think the NBA needs to change about the All-Star Weekend. Not even what they did right, because I think, you know, the NBA does a lot of things right. I think All-Star Weekend's a great fun in the NBA, but there's always things that I'd like to see, and I think a lot of other fans would enjoy seeing too. I'll share my ideas on that. We'll start off though with Friday night, Rising Stars / the Celebrity Game. Cade Cunningham won the MVP for the Rising Stars. I think one thing that's kind of bullshit, and I was worried that the All-Star game itself was going to end like this, is when the All-Star game ends, or when the Rising Stars game ends in a free throw, because it's a race to a target point. I think in the finals it was 25, and it ended on a free throw. Anticlimactic as fuck. That is bullshit. That should not happen. If you get fouled, just check it up. At the top of the key, check it up. And restart the possession. All right, and if it's an intentional foul, just kick the player out of the game. And since there's only 7 players on the team, you can't keep potentially fouling, because you're going to be left with, I mean, that's what I'm saying. If you intentionally foul on the game point, get that guy out, bring in the next guy, and since you only have 7 guys, you're going to run out of guys soon if you just intentionally foul the entire time, and it'll be like 5 versus 1, which again will be very funny to watch. It'd be very funny to see. Shout out Cade Cunningham. He had a great All-Star, or a great Rising Stars game. I didn't really watch much of that game. It's a Rising Stars. The Celebrity Game I didn't watch. I watched the highlights. I saw what there was on Instagram, and that's where I get my next topic. Myles Garrett, holy shit, is insane. I mean, Myles Garrett, It's kind of obvious saying this. He's one of the best NFL players in the league. He's one of the best defensive players I've ever watched play in my entire life. An insane athlete. Not only can he play football, but he can throw down. He can block shots. He's a very talented player. And it got me thinking about a future All-Star game event that I'd like to see in years to come that I will be talking about at the end of the episode. I just wanted to toss it in there. Myles Garrett is crazy. And finally going back to that weird game-winning shot challenge they had, which I feel like I'm kind of downplaying it. I think it's kind of cool. It's fun. It's nice. It's new. I don't think they should have that every year, but it's nice for the 75th anniversary. Go over some of the best game winners in history. Scotty Barnes missing that. I think it was a Magic Johnson hook shot. You don't even have to shoot a hook shot. That's the thing. That's the one ick I had about that the way that game was set up is you just have to hit the shot normally. You didn't have to do the same motion. You didn't have to hit the step back for Damian Lillard's shot. You just had to stand there and shoot it, which is kind of dumb. You don't even have to. Scotty Barnes did not have to do a hook shot for the Magic Johnson one. He just bricked 4 straight shots, and for whoever his teammate was, I think it was Baines or Garland, or I forget who it was, he also missed 2 of them. They went 0 for 6 from that spot. It was kind of embarrassing. That's really the only thoughts I have from the Rising Stars / Celebrity game. Again, Friday nights of All-Star weekends are not the most entertaining part of the weekend. They just aren't. It's not really fun. It's nice. It's got its moments. Would I pay for a ticket? No, because I frankly wouldn't really give a shit. Saturday was a different story. Saturday was fun. There was some good moments, some boring moments. Yeah, I really enjoyed Saturday. The Cleveland Cavaliers dominated the skills contest. Sorry, I just paused really awkwardly there because I was looking at the camera. I was like, am I recording right now? I am recording. Thank goodness, because I would have had to redo that last 7 minutes, which would have sucked ass. Saturday was fun. The Cavs winning the skills contest. I like the way the skills contest was set up. I did not watch the skills contest, though, because I was doing shit. And it's a skills contest. I normally never watch it because it's a skills contest. Like, how many times do I have to re-say it? It's the fucking skills contest. I heard the Antetokounmpo brothers weren't that good. And Darius Garland went off in the 3-point challenge thing. Again, didn't watch it live, didn't understand how it worked. It was new. I remember when I first was watching All-Star Weekend, back when I first started watching basketball, it was just players weaving between cones and hitting bounce passes through like little holes into nets and then shooting layups and 3-pointers. It was great fun. And now they've changed it a little bit. It's nice. It's cool. Whatever. Cavs won that 3-point contest. I was hyped for the 3-point contest. I was hyped for my man Patty Mills to go crazy. Just like last year, I was hyped for Davis Bertans to go crazy. Patty Mills did better than Davis Bertans did last year. But Patty Mills didn't win, which I'm disappointed about. I really wanted Patty Mills to win it. Luke Kennard, 28 points in the first round. But Karl Anthony Towns for the big men, getting it done. I gotta be honest. I'm pretty happy. I'm happy with who won it. It's nice to see Karl Anthony Towns win that. Happy for the guy. He's having a great season. The Timberwolves are 7th right now in the Western Conference. They might be a playoff team. If the Lakers want to be in the playoffs, the Timberwolves are going to be in that race against them. And Karl Anthony Towns and the Minnesota Timberwolves might play spoilers to LeBron and the Lakers. Kind of interesting there. Yeah, seeing Cat win that against Luke Kennard. I'm a big Luke Kennard fan too. That's the thing, though. I like most of the players in the. I liked all the players in the 3-point contest, but I'm happy that Karl Anthony Towns won it. And then I really started paying attention to All-Star Weekend. After the 3-point contest is sort of when I'm like, okay, now we get into the parts of All-Star Weekend that are really remembered. These are the moments, the dunk contest and the All-Star game are the 2 main events in All-Star Weekend that, should I say, people actually care about? Yes. They are the moments that people actually care about. They are the moments that are remembered and etched into stone and into NBA history forever. They are the dunk contest from 2016, the dunk contest from 2000, Vince Carter, Zach LaVine, Dominique Wilkins, Aaron Gordon, Michael Jordan. All these iconic dunkers are remembered through all these iconic players are legends of the NBA dunk contest. And the NBA dunk contest is supposed to be the grand finale of All-Star Saturday. It's supposed to be the grand finale of an amazing night, and it's supposed to get the crowd on their feet. It's supposed to get everyone hyped. You're supposed to have the best players and the best high-flying young stars in the NBA competing against each other. We had Michael Jordan back in the day, Kobe Bryant, Vince Carter. More recently, we had Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon, Derrick Jones Jr. We know these guys coming up, and this year we all kind of wanted to see Ja Morant in the dunk contest. That didn't happen. Instead, we got Juan Tescado Anderson. Still don't know how to say the guy's name. Obi Toppin, all right. And then the fucking Jalen Green. I was hyped to see him. And Cole Anthony. Okay. Now, when I first come out, when that lineup first came out, I said, all right, this is Jalen Green's competition to lose. It is. And lose it he did. Jalen Green was the guy that I was hyped to see in the dunk contest. I was so excited. I'm like, oh my God, Jalen Green's going to be in the dunk contest. I was excited because I thought that he could win it. I really did. And he came out there and I'm like, okay, he went fourth. I'm like, all right, here we go. We've seen some nice dunks, but we haven't seen Jalen Green dunk. And we didn't get to see Jalen Green dunk for a very long time. And he eventually did a windmill. It was nice. And again, like, I'm out here criticizing these NBA superstars or these NBA players' dunking ability. I can't dunk, let alone do what they're doing. Okay, I'm just saying from an objective, by the standard that has been set in the NBA dunk contest by performance of years past, this dunk contest was tragic. It was terrible. It felt like, you know how the dunk contest always has that one or two just random selection? Like in 2016, the crazy one we all remember. Andre Drummond was in the dunk contest. Like, why the fuck? And the year before that, Mason Plumlee was in the dunk contest. Birdman, before the tattoos, when he was just known as Chris Anderson, was in the dunk contest. Like, what are they doing in this dunk contest kind of players? It felt like the NBA had collected all of those players and put them into one dunk contest. Because it was boring. It was. Obi Toppin had a few nice dunks. I think Obi Toppin won deservingly. He was the least worst. You know, I think Obi Toppin is not at fault for the winner of for how the dunk contest went. The people who are at fault is Jalen Green for one. Cole Anthony, I don't even think completed a second dunk. I forget how that went. Or no, it was Tescado Anderson didn't complete his second dunk in the final round. I don't know, it's kind of boring, but the people who did make the dunk contest fun, and the only reason why I kept watching the dunk contest was the commentators. The commentators are great. Reggie Miller was great and Dwayne Wade was great. They were cracking jokes. They were having a good time. Reggie Miller's got to be one of my favorite commentators, if not my favorite commentator. He's over this weekend, and, you know, it's about damn time I give Reggie Miller my respects. He is maybe my favorite commentator in the NBA. He's just a funny dude who gets basketball. He's just a funny guy. And that's how the dunk contest went. And that was All-Star Saturday. It ended disappointingly. It was too bad. I've been watching the dunk contest for many years, and I think that people always say that 2016 set the bar too high for the dunk contest. I agree with that. However, we've seen some really good dunk contests since then. Derrick Jones Jr. was throwing alley-oops off the backboard, catching it, going between the legs whilst jumping over a man and throwing it down since the Zach LaVine. Like, we've seen some crazy dunks. We've seen Aaron Gordon jump over Taco Fall and throw it down. We've seen some really good dunk contests since then. But this year just was bad. That's it. Like, that was the bottom line. This year's was bad. It's not that 2016 made the dunk contest not fun anymore, because we've seen some good dunks. We've seen some great dunks. We've seen crowds get on their feet. We've seen players get hyped. We've seen it all since then, since 2016. 2016 made the dunk contest even more fun than it normally is, because now we're always on the edge of our seat. When we finally are rewarded, it's even more hype. But this year was a letdown. Hopefully next year we get Ja Morant in there, and that's all I can really say. All-Star Saturday, that's it for that. And the All-Star game came around. I just finished watching it. I'm recording this at like 11:15 Pacific Standard Time, which is like 2 a.m. Eastern time, just so you all are aware of my dedication. The All-Star game more than made up for the dunk contest. The All-Star game was amazing. It was the best All-Star game I've seen probably in my life. It is. I think it's fair to say that what we just saw was the most entertaining All-Star game of the past 10 years that I can remember. Again, I'm kind of on the spot here, but I really had a lot of fun. It was a close game all the way through. I thought that Team LeBron would blow out Team Durant, given that Kevin Durant's not even there. Chris Paul was hurt. No, Chris Paul was on Team LeBron anyway. But Team Durant hung in there. But at the end of the game, you could kind of see when it was the first to 163, you could see Team LeBron had their main guys out there, and they were really trying to win it. And that's when the star power took over. DeMar DeRozan was in some tough shots, and LeBron, of course, took over. And Jared Allen he did great things down low defensively, because it was nice to see him. I'll touch on this a bit later, but those guys were fucking playing out there. That was a great pickup game. That was the best pickup game, the most talented pickup game you're ever going to see in a very long time. That was amazing. But we'll start with the most important thing, and that's DeJounte Murray scored 17 points in the All-Star game. The reserve. He wasn't supposed to be there. He scored 17. LaMelo Ball put up 18. They belong in the All-Star game, goddammit, and I'm so happy that they got their moments. DeJounte Murray, DeJounte started off kind of timidly. I was watching him. He was sort of timid. He didn't know if he was really supposed to try too hard. He got a few buckets, and then he started going at it, tossing off the backboard, throwing it down. He was getting really aggressive, and LaMelo Ball was just yanking him from downtown. Very nice to see. DeJounte, 17 points. And, okay, first, we need to state the obvious. Stephen Curry, 50 points. On 16 of 27 from downtown. 16 threes. I have no words for what Steph Curry did. I don't have any words. We all saw it. We all had our own reaction to it. I can't add anything to your experience of watching Steph Curry play basketball the way he played on the All-Star weekend by anything I can. I can't. There's nothing I can say. Nothing I can say can live up to what Steph Curry did. He was just insane. Now, I kind of just want to say that real quick, because Steph Curry going off was not the most surprising thing that happened in the All-Star game. The most surprising moment of the All-Star game was not Steph Curry hitting 16 three-pointers. It was not Steph Curry hitting 50 points. It was not Ja Morant catching a 360 alley-oop. The most surprising moment of the All-Star game came in, I think, the second quarter. DeJounte Murray dishes it underneath. I think it was DeJounte Murray. DeJounte Murray dishes it underneath. And Rudy fucking Gobert does a 360 dunk in game, driving down the lane. You watching this right now, you cannot tell me that you would have ever expected to see that. You cannot downplay that. That for me, I was like, there's no time. Stop the simulation. What business does Rudy Gobert have of throwing down 360 dunks in game? What, like, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what the fuck is Rudy Gobert doing? He has got no business doing that. We saw Zach LaVine do it earlier in the game. We're like, yeah, it's Zach LaVine. Ja Morant, he caught an insane 360 alley-oop. It's like, yeah, it's Ja Morant. But Rudy Gobert? Rudy Gobert, Mr. Shut the world down because he got COVID. Rudy Gobert, the cocky, arrogant French guy that no one fucking likes. Rudy Gobert, this gangly 7'2" player who becomes a liability in the playoffs, threw down a 360 dunk in game. That was the most surprising moment of the entire All-Star weekend for me. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what? What did I just... I was scratching my eyes. I'm like, are you sure that's Rudy Gobert? That's not Karl Anthony Towns. That's not another big man. Even Jared Allen. But that was that was the flying Frenchman, Rudy Gobert, just soaring through the air with a 360 dunk. I still cannot believe that happened. That's insane. My next point, I've already kind of made it. Ja Morant needs to be in the dunk contest. Ja Morant is the most entertaining draw in sports right now, in the NBA right now. He's crazy, and I say that despite Curry hitting 16 threes. I think just Ja Morant is just so fun to watch. He's so fun to watch. Yeah, is he the most entertaining player in the league? I can't say he is after Steph Curry just hit 16 threes. I take that back. But Ja needs to be in the dunk contest. That's my least hot take I will ever say ever. Ja Morant needs to be in the dunk contest in 2023. The dunk contest needs to be revived. It's had a couple down years. Okay, 2020 was hype. 2021 was ass, but it was kind of in a weird situation. They did what they could. 2022 was terrible. Ja Morant needs to save the dunk contest. He's got to save it. He just does. The next thing from the NBA All-Star Game that I really liked was the NBA 75. The way that they were all announced, I really enjoyed it. I had a DVD of like the history of the NBA when I was younger. That was made in like 2002, I want to say. And so in 1997 or 98, when they had the top 50 players in the NBA, the DVD had a little segment for that. And so me being a little kid, I was watching the NBA announce the 50 greatest players of all time back then. It was a lot of the same guys we saw last night. It was Michael Jordan and Kareem and Magic and all those guys. And it was really nice to see the top 75 players get announced. It was really cool. They weren't wearing their team jackets like they were for the 50-year anniversary, but they were wearing some pretty cool blazers, and it was really cool to see a lot of those players. I was personally surprised that Michael Jordan would be in attendance. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of expecting Michael Jordan just to be one of the guys waving at home. It was sad. It was kind of sad seeing the Kobe Bryant one. That hit for sure, and it was kind of cool just reminiscing in the history of basketball for a second, just kind of basking in its greatness. To really think about, we saw on Sunday night 75 of the greatest players in the NBA. If you regardless if you think that those were the 75 players that deserve to be in the NBA 75, what we saw on Sunday night, the players we saw on the court in Cleveland on Sunday night, were 75 of the most influential players in the NBA. Without those 75 guys, we would not have the league we had today. And the NBA got some flack from certain fans saying that a lot of the older guys shouldn't be there. Guys like Paul Arizin or Bob Pettit, people that a lot of people hadn't heard of, saying that they shouldn't be there. Those are the guys that created that. They were the founders of the league. They made the league. They're the reason why the league is what it is today, and it gets passed on through generations. Allen Iverson was talking about it, and it's really kind of interesting. It's crazy to think about that we saw the 75 greatest players in the NBA on the court in Cleveland that were there. Of course, there were some players who couldn't be there. Some players had passed on, but those were the guys. That's the league. Those 75 guys, they are the history of the NBA. It's crazy. I'm kind of getting sentimental just talking about it, because I think of the league that I love, the league that I watch religiously, and those are the players. I saw them all at once on the court in front of me. It was Kareem and Magic and Allen Iverson and more recently guys like Harden and Kawhi Leonard and Giannis. They were all together. It was just a genuinely great moment. And I think what I really liked, the picture that summed it all up for me, was when all the guys who were in attendance were taking that big picture, and everyone's smiling except for one guy, Kawhi Leonard, sitting right in the fucking middle in kind of the upper rows, just resting bitch face. He wasn't smiling. He was not entertained at all. And his fucking hands were huge. Kawhi had the audacity when his name got called up for the 75 for the NBA 75. This man really put up the fucking claw sign, and we all saw how absolutely massive his hands were. Like, I was sitting beside someone who didn't really watch basketball, and she was like, "Holy shit, his hands are just like, they're huge." They're huge. We saw the other centers, Dikembe Mutombo, and we saw a lot of other big guys in the NBA. We saw their hands waving. Kawhi's were bigger than all of theirs. It's crazy how big that man's hands are. Moving on to the second half of the game, again, Steph Curry kept going crazy. Players were actually trying in the fourth quarter. And it's because of the Kobe Bryant thing where they add 24 to the leading team's score and the erase of that score. Kobe Bryant's impact on the All-Star game lives on, and Kobe Bryant continues to have a great impact on the NBA despite the fact that he's passed on. Kobe Bryant's influence on the NBA continues to be a positive one, continues to make the league more entertaining. He's been entertaining NBA fans for 20 years. And even after he's passed on, he still continues to entertain NBA fans because of the new rule the NBA put in because of his death. Race to 163 it was. And we saw 10 of the greatest players in NBA history, the 10 of the best players in the NBA today, go all out on the court. They was trying hard as fuck in that fourth quarter, especially when it came down to the wire, when they had that target and Team LeBron was getting close, Team Durant was getting close, and it was really interesting to see the players that LeBron had out there because you know damn well LeBron James was coaching this team. It didn't matter who the fuck was sitting in the coach's chair. That was LeBron's team, the GM's team. He played 36 minutes that game, the most out of any player. I think him and Steph Curry played a lot. Joel Embiid, I think, played a lot for Team Durant. But LeBron James, he was saying, no, I want me out there. I want my guys out there. And he made the smart decision, LeBron, to put Jared Allen out there. And Jared Allen made some big plays down the stretch defensively for Team LeBron. And it all ended up with a big DeMar DeRozan shot, an amazing DeMar DeRozan mid-range shot who had it going from mid-range. And LeBron James sticking the winner. And I'm not gonna lie, when the shot was first released, I'm like, nah, there's no way it's going in. But it found its way in. LeBron, that's nice to see as well, in front of the Cleveland fans, the Cleveland, Ohio fans, who gave him a great welcome and a very warm welcome home. It was gonna see LeBron, but what I really liked most from those players trying very hard down the stretch there, the main takeaway I got was Philadelphia and the Milwaukee Bucks better meet in the playoffs because that will be a playoff series for the ages. The way that Joel Embiid and Giannis Antetokounmpo were battling down low, down the stretch there in the All-Star game, when players were actually trying, when they were trying to get to 163, Joel and Giannis were not holding back. They was preparing each other. They're saying, hey, we got two of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. Most likely, we will be meeting each other at some point in the playoffs. Probably the third round or second round at least. It's going to be a long series. It will be a long 6-game, 7-game, hopefully, series between Joel Embiid and Giannis Antetokounmpo. And they were going hard. They were going at each other all game long in the All-Star game. It was great fun. That was the NBA All-Star weekend. That was my takeaway. It was fun. It was great fun. I'm going to get into the changes that I think the NBA should make because as fun as it was, there can always be more done. There can always be more to make it even more fun. The first change that I think that the NBA should implement is nothing to do with the All-Star Skills Challenge or the All-Star 3-point contest, the dunk contest, or the All-Star game. The first thing that needs to happen is the celebrity game should either be abolished or get actual celebrities in the game, in which case it'd probably be even worse at basketball, in which case just get rid of the celebrity game. I think it has to be done. Kevin Hart, just crown him as the greatest celebrity to ever play basketball. Give him the crown, do some cool announcement, and get rid of the celebrity game and replace it with an NBA, or no, not an NBA. Replace it with a WNBA versus NFL All-Star game. That right there would sell all the tickets. The NBA is always trying to promote the WNBA. There's no better stage to do it than an All-Star weekend where you get the WNBA All-Stars going up against the NFL's best basketball players. Here's why. Everyone's going to want to watch the WNBA lose. The WNBA will get tons of viewership. And shit, give the WNBA all the profits from that game. Give them all the profits. They need the money. And shit, at the end of the day, that'll save the NBA some money because the NBA is the one funding the WNBA. The WNBA needs the money. And that game, the NFL versus WNBA All-Stars, would bring in a lot of money just from people hate watching. Shit, I would hate watch. I want to see Myles Garrett posterize every player in the WNBA who said that they're better than NBA players. They didn't also that. Fucking Brittany Griner, she said she called DeMarcus Cousins a little man. I want to see Myles Garrett put her ass on a poster. Who wouldn't? I want the NFL versus WNBA is a win-win for everyone. The WNBA will probably get destroyed, but at least they'll get viewers. At least people will watch them play because no one does. And the NFL game is the way to do it. WNBA All-Stars versus NFL's best basketball players. That's what you gotta do. That'll be more entertaining than the Pro Bowl. Shit, actually, this doesn't even have to be an idea for the NBA. This could be an idea for the NFL. Y'all had a dodgeball game. Why not a basketball game against the WNBA? The Pro Bowl weekend is terrible. Put this game in. WNBA All-Stars versus the NFL's best basketball players. It is the game we all need to see. We all want to see it. Myles Garrett. I want to see this man drop 50 on whatever her name. Brittany Griner. Yeah. Put 50 on her head. Thank you. The next thing is the NBA needs to have a 1v1 tournament. I don't know what's taking so long. There needs to be a 1v1 tournament. We need to see who is the best 1v1 basketball player in the NBA. That's something that has to happen. And get the best players out there, man. And the NBA, y'all got so much fucking money, and you can't tell me that you can't pay off some of these great players to play in these tournaments. All right? You can't tell me that if you offer Ja Morant like $200,000 that he won't play in a 1v1 tournament to 11. Just do it. Or his sponsorship should do it. I mean, there's some sum of money that these players will play in the tournament for. And it'd be great fun. It'd be fun as fuck to see. Imagine prime KD and LeBron a few years ago going head-to-head. Or if they had this in the past, seeing like Allen Iverson go up against T-Mac. It'd be so fun. Or like current day, like seeing some interesting matchups like Steph Curry against Joel Embiid. Those would be very entertaining matchups that I think that the NBA needs to implement. They just do. The next thing I think is in regards to the NBA's All-Star game, just the game itself. Instead of having this is just a general thing that I'd love to see happen. This is not my original idea, but the league should do the draft on the court before the game. Have Kevin Durant and LeBron James. By the way, Kevin Durant was not in attendance due to his grandma's passing, which I feel terrible about. Rest in peace, of course. But in future, have the two captains holding a mic on the court and all the players sitting in front and just draft. Just draft right in front. And whoever gets picked last, I don't know, normally like it doesn't really, like I know the NHL used to give a card to the player who got picked last in the draft back a few years ago. And if you want to do that, give the player who got picked last some funny thing. That'd be kind of fun to do. But I think that needs to happen just on the court, an old pickup game, old pickup school kind of thing. That'd be really fun. I think be great fun. And it also before the game, because there's always like I don't know, it feels like there's all the teams just seem kind of separated because they're already picked before the game, like how the practices and stuff, they can all kind of practice together. I don't know, be kind of fun. And it'd just be just another thing that the NBA could add to increase viewership. It'd be great fun. And finally, my last suggestion for the NBA regarding All-Star Weekend is get good dunkers for the dunk contest. It's just that simple. I don't know why you have Obi Toppin and Juan Tescado Anderson. Don't know how to say his name. Duncan. Jalen Green I thought was a good pick, but he's not. He was terrible. Cole Anthony, disappointing. They were all disappointing. I guess, other than Obi Toppin, he kind of gave you what you'd expect Obi Toppin to give you, which in this case was the championship and the win because everyone else is just terrible. That's the last thing. It's got good dunkers. Anyway, I'm recording this pretty late at night. I'm getting kind of tired, I'm not going to lie. It's damn near midnight. But that's me. I was watching Breaking Bad. I binge watched it. I haven't really had a life since I started watching it because it's so good. I recommend everyone to watch it. If it's not that entertaining at first, season 1 and 2, just get through those, and season 3, 4, and 5 are just incredible, especially season 4. I love season 4 so much. I'm currently watching the movie that comes afterwards. Like it is, it's an insane show for sure. I put off watching the Kanye West documentary because every free second I had would be spent watching Breaking Bad, because Jesse and Mr. Walter White, are just great TV. They just are. That's me. It's whatever. I'm feeling good, living better. Drake once said that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching the Off the Dome podcast, season 3, episode 14. I'll see y'all next time. Peace out, y'all.